Hands up. Hands up. May 2nd to 2024. Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department, IMPD, received an emergency 911 call. The caller reported that a man was threatening people with a firearm. Police identified the suspect as Fayala Lamar Walls. At the time, he was located near East Faith Street, inside a residence, allegedly threatening others with a gun. Shortly after receiving the dispatch, Officer Barker and Officer Foley arrived at the scene and initiated tactical operations. You know me, I would not do this if I thought that was the case. If I were wrong, please tell me. Upon the officer's arrival, the man was sitting in the doorway, holding a handgun. After officers observed the weapon, and following only 2 verbal commands, the situation escalated rapidly. Officers immediately discharged their weapons. Next, we switched to Officer Barker body-worn camera BWC footage to reconstruct the scene as it unfolded. Before the other 8 officers had fully arrived, Officer Foley had already drawn his weapon and entered a state of high alert just as his partner fired the first shot. But the other officers also opened fire. Control. Shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. Hold your position. Hold your position. Approximately 30 seconds later, a third officer reached the scene. At this point, the man's gun can be seen, having fallen near the steps. Returning to the doorway surveillance footage, at the exact moment Officer Foley fired, the man quickly dropped the gun to the floor. However, the entire process happened in an instant. The act of discarding the weapon seemed to occur after the officer had already pulled the trigger. Subsequently, the third officer immediately began emergency medical aid on the man. However, despite the medical team's best efforts, they were unable to save his life. Police subsequently launched an investigation. The investigation results indicate that police believe the man attempted to fire at officers, prompting the officers on scene to return fire immediately. However, the man's girlfriend, Aaron Ireland, offered a different account. She stated the man had long-standing, severe mental health issues. Prior to his death, he had been arrested 3 times for domestic incidents. Aaron claimed Officer Foley had responded to their home multiple times in the past. She believes Foley may have grown weary of handling these repeated incidents, ultimately decided to end the situation permanently. Police later confirmed that, on the day of the incident, the Mobile Crisis Assistance Team, MCAT, had also been dispatched to the scene. They were originally planned to assist with the man's mental health crisis. However, before the crisis team could intervene, Officer Foley had already arrived and opened fire, resulting in the man's fatal injuries. Currently, both officers involved have been placed on administrative leave, pending further investigation. During the investigation, it was also discovered that Officer Foley, during his contact with the man, failed to activate his body-worn camera. Furthermore, on-scene footage shows the 2 officers had handcuffed the man, but the circumstances surrounding this later became a point of contention. Outside critics question whether this process violated police department regulations. This incident has garnered widespread attention. The officers involved may face disciplinary action, and the police department could face a civil lawsuit from the man's family.